Welcome to The Connect with your hosts, Kristina Leigh, Krista Escamilla, Shonna Garcia, and me, Natalie Cargile. We inspire, we influence, and we network. Are you ready to slay this new week? Let's go.
Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Connect Show. Me with my business besties. Every time I can start the morning with you guys, it just is a better weekend, right?
Absolutely.
A long Memorial Day weekend. We got to take Monday off and already we're into Saturday. Did you guys have a great weekend last weekend as you celebrated the holiday?
I think so. I think, it's such a great time to really appreciate our freedoms. I mean, it's a time to really kind of also get with your family and have fun, but man, think about the people who paid the ultimate sacrifice so that we can be out having fun on a weekend. I mean, it's just such a great opportunity to thank those who have served.
I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah, we enjoyed just watching. They had a lot of specials on TV, watched PBS. They had a beautiful special and just so many wonderful ways to honor those who have fought and died for our country and then get to have some family fun. So we spent it, of course, on the golf course.
I actually spent it working, but again, that's part of the beauty of where we live. You get to choose.
And speaking of blessing, the blessing of homeschooling. What a topic of conversation here for sure. And I think Kristina Leigh's had the most fun. I was taking a look at, that was a joke. Several articles that came out, and it looks like, Wall Street released a story on how schools will be reopening in the fall. And apparently, we're looking at shorter days to smaller classes. Schools will likely look radically different when it comes to 2020. And based on CDC guidelines, apparently, sitting in a hula hoop may mark your space and help you maintain social distancing. So based on some of these ideas, how practical do you think these things are going to be for a classroom of 20 or 30 people in high school, middle school, or even lower school?
I think it's going to be challenging just knowing where we are in Midland. I mean, the rooms are already overcrowded as it is, so it'll be interesting to see how they are able to manage that. I think hula hoops are a great idea to keep them focused on where they're supposed to sit. You sit in your hula hoop, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's great. I actually saw a story on CBS, I believe it was, over the weekend, and they did just a story on Taiwan and what they've done and the changes they've made, and showed how the desks are all spaced out and they're doing more outdoor learning, which I loved. And they actually had them, when they stepped out and into the classroom, they had them step in to hit sanitizer on their feet every time they left the school. And I thought, what a great idea. They just had a bucket there with a pad, just almost like a doormat, stepped in there, sanitized their feet, and then kept going, sanitized their hands, and kept. I thought, that's a great idea. And so I think we're going to see a lot of wonderful ideas and on ways to make it work, because I know, Kristina, you'll agree with me, but our kids need to be in class with the teacher.
And they need to be sanitized.
Here's my thing. I can't even teach my kids how to shut a cabinet door. It's very simple. Here's a cabinet door, close it. It's open, close it. And so what I'm thinking is how something that is not natural to them, they want to be close, and by nature, we want to be close. So to get them to stay in a hula hoop, I'm just saying, if my kid can maybe learn to shut a cabinet door, maybe they can learn to stay in that hula hoop, but I'm not putting money on it. Not putting money on it.
Kristina, welcome to summertime. We are home with our kids and all of the things and all of the excitement.
Do y'all want to play a game? We've been playing a lot of games lately.
Yes.
You win? Okay, let's do it. All right, first question is, we're going to play one called Rate It. This sounds like fun. Was this your idea, Kristina?
I think so.
Love this. Okay, I love this. This is going to be fun. The first one, and you just number between 1 and 10. Use your fingers or your signs for those of you who were good and listened and did your homework.
I know.
Here we go. Rate it. Ready? How important is it to get your hair done?
At the salon?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it depends. I'm colored.
I mean, by somebody else. By someone else or by yourself?
I would say, it could go either way. If you just want to get your hair cut and colored, I need the professionals.
Okay, so if you want to get your hair done, I think maybe we're asking that. How important is it to go get did?
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I would rank all y'all really, really high. I'm giving me a 0 to 3. I can't remember the last time I've been in a salon. So I'm just saying.
I'd have to agree too. I'd never, ever, 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 ever go get my hair done. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 times a year.
Well, I've been gray since 16, so.
All right, the next one is eating right. How important is it to eat right?
Yeah, I'd say 10, and maybe a 9 because some days I'm bad.
Yeah.
I say you got to live a little, but very little.
Very
Like
little.
eat healthy, live a little.
I agree. So I guess I'm going to pull one down. 9. Okay. Taking naps.
1 million. 1 million%. 1 million%. That is my favorite hobby right
It's
there.
important. I just can't ever get it in, but I would like to.
Definitely naps. Setting business hours when you work from home.
Be important.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't answer this one. It wouldn't be honest because I don't do it. It's probably really important, but can I find my plead the fifth card? I know that's a different game, but plead the fifth.
Right.
I love it. Does anyone else have any questions? That's all I have. Any other questions that came up? How important is it to keep a schedule?
In general,
Like a day planner.
I think it's important. Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what? No, I'm lying because if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There you go. That's fun. All right, that's our little game. Rate it. We hope you rated it at home. Let us know what your thoughts. We want to stay connected to you on social media. So let's keep the conversation going. All right, coming up next, ladies, you ready? Speaking of conversation, up next is Chelsea Trickett. She's going to join us with tips on homeschooling and life management. We all could use a little managing there. Can't wait to learn from her. That's coming up next. But first, here's a sneak peek at this week's Midland Real Estate Market Update, brought to you by the Bill Lanier team. For the complete interview, you can actually go on Facebook to the Bill Lanier team at Keller Williams Realty. Take it away, Shonna.
Welcome to this week's Midland Real Estate Market Update with the Bill Lanier team. I'm Shonna Garcia.
I'm Bill Lanier, and to update our market, we have Jerry Bundick from the Midland Central Appraisal District. He is the chief appraiser, and we're asking him to come down and talk about a form that many people in Midland have received in the past few weeks. And as a matter of fact, Jerry, I did receive this on a couple of properties, but I didn't on some of them. Can you tell us a little bit about who and why we get these forms?
Yeah, Bill, thanks for asking. What you receive there is what's called the Notice of Appraised Value. You will receive one in Midland if you did a number of things. One, if your property increased by more than $1,000, this particular year, 2020, is a non-reappraisal year for the Midland Central Appraisal District. So as such, we're not required to mail one to everyone, only those that have increased by more than $1,000. If you are newly acquired the property, or you just bought it, basically, we will mail you that protest form along with information on how to protest. In addition, if you had actually received a rendition that you sent us information saying, here's the value of my property. If you did that process, then we would mail you this notice of protest as well.
You don't have to be a celebrity to feel like one. Our top-of-the-line Russian hair extensions provide a more natural feel, faster blow-dry time, and a full wait line. Real MC hair extensions are available to all stylists, and all extensions are available the same day. Come in and feel the difference for yourself.
Are you looking for flame-resistant uniforms? Consider Rig ID Workwear. Here's 5 reasons why. There are no contracts. That's worth repeating. There are no contracts. Eliminate the hassle of lost rented garments. Corporate discounts are available for your entire workforce at Rig ID. Put an end to the hassle and stress of pickup and delivery of your company's uniforms. We offer full FR uniform products as well as boots, gloves, and accessories. Stop by Rig ID Workwear and start saving your company both money and time.
Howdy. Susie's South 40 invites you to come by and take a gander at all of the Texas souvenirs and gift items we have available for the Texas lover in you. Here at Susie's South 40, we take pride in representing our great state of Texas, and that's why you'll always find a great and unique selection of Texas-themed items. and of course, a variety of delicious candy. So stop by today at either of our locations at 401 South Marinfell or 2101 West Wadley for a great Texas experience in Midland.
Well, welcome back. We are here with our first guest this morning. Very excited to have you. Welcome, Chelsea.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for having me.
Talking a lot about homeschooling, so I'm glad you're here today. Just to share a little bit about you with our viewers, you're an avid pinner on Pinterest,
Yes.
right? A sometimes meal planner, and attachment parenting homeschooler. I love that. Attachment parenting, we're going to get into that. But you're also an entrepreneur, and you're here to share some life hacks when it comes to time management, but also teaching children from home and not compromising your lifestyle. You know, I like that about your message. So talk a little bit about the first thing we need to know when it comes to homeschooling. I think this whole entire pandemic has taken us all by storm.
Yes, I think really the issue a lot of families have when homeschooling, especially during this pandemic when we were all taken by surprise, is to just go to the default of school education. So what we did in school, that's how we attack our homeschool routines, you know, sitting at the table, sitting at some form of a desk and doing worksheets. You know, that's what we know how to do. It's easy for the most part. We don't even have to be fully engaged. A lot of it can be independent work.
Right.
But for those that choose to homeschool, the difference is not just in being able to choose the curriculum, but you are able to adapt what you do with your homeschool into your home life more efficiently and seamlessly, so that you're not just taking 6 hours of your day sitting at a table, and you're able to intermingle a lot of learning into your home life. So that's really what I try to get families to establish and to realize with my Homeschool Foundations ebook.
So that sounds easy. How do you really go about implementing a schedule into that?
Okay, so the first part of my Foundations book was really to establish what your intent and your philosophy is. And even if you cannot choose your own curriculum, the idea is, how much time do I realistically have to put forth to homeschooling or education? And how much of that time is genuinely one-on-one connection and work? And trying to figure out what that is. A lot of times, homeschoolers choose to homeschool because they don't feel the need to regulate within a schedule. Now, that can be like a parent's parental choice. Some homeschoolers are very regimented, don't get me wrong, very much on a schedule, because that is what the parent slash teacher needs. For me, I don't do well on schedules. They make me hyperventilate, and then I freak out because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 7 minutes over and now we have lunch and then there's math and oh my gosh. So I'm more of a routine person where I have like a gist of what I want to accomplish during that day. And then if it doesn't get accomplished, I'm okay. Then we'll move to take care of it the next day. So even if what we feel is necessary as a schedule, you may have a child who's like me, where that schedule actually gives them an anxiety. And so you're no longer having learning happen.
Right.
You're just creating stress. So I think that is maybe a problem that families aren't realizing that they are putting into their education at home, because not everybody is realizing both parties are on a learning curve.
Right. Right. That's a great point, Chelsea. I love that you mentioned that. When you outgrew the desire to work from home, you became a teacher's aide at Bynum. I just love Bynum and everything that y'all do there. Just so wonderful. Now you're working on this ebook that you mentioned and other digital products for homeschool and life management. What do you think is the biggest thing that most parents miss?
Well, when I started the ebook, or really started putting all of those things together, it was because I was scared of putting my son in school because he has special needs. I felt that putting him in an environment where situations would be reactive instead of proactive to tantrums or situations. But he is in Bynum, so we do homeschool and school. We supplement with both. And I have found the biggest thing that families maybe not even consciously are aware of is really observing. Taking the time to observe your children and what they like and what they're interested in. Because a lot of times, like I said, you can't choose the curriculum. So if you think, okay, well, I'm not going to be a homeschooling parent, but what if your child has summer school? You're going to be taking that time to really focus on what they're doing in summer school and supplementing that. So even if they have their own coursework, if you are observant enough of your child and what they like, you can take, and it seems so obvious, right? But a lot of times, especially I'm understanding with this pandemic, in terms of education, families are like, they go to school and they come home and then that's the end of it, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is that time period where you're really focusing on, okay, how can I take our math curriculum, but put it in a way that my child will really understand? So what do they like? Minecraft. So how can I involve Minecraft into their math?
Your book sounds amazing. Where can people find it?
So I'm actually on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I have an Etsy shop, and both are under Chelsea Michelle US.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming today, Chelsea. Such good information. And I mean, we could be here all day asking you questions because Kristina actually does homeschool her children.
Half of the time, yeah.
So thank you so much. I mean, man, off camera, and I think on our Facebook and social media, it'd be fun to continue the conversation so people can ask you some questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. I'm so glad I could bring this.
Thank you so much, Shonna. You have a great day. Thank you. Well, coming up next, Rachael Reinert. She is going to join us with Shares, an outstanding organization focusing on children with special needs. You won't want to miss our conversation coming up next on The Connect Show. Stay with us.
Relationship, positive attitude, dynamic, success, and excellence. These are the values to ensure a stress-free and seamless mortgage loan. Hi, I'm Nikki with the Platinum Group at Benchmark Mortgage. As a residential loan officer with more than 17 years of experience, I know how to take the hassle out of the borrowing process and get you into the home of your dreams. My team is focused on building relationships, and we do whatever it takes to ensure a dynamic and successful experience every step of the way.
Welcome back. We are so excited to share with you our next guest. This organization is truly outstanding. It's called Shares, and it focuses on caring for families where there are children with special needs in the home. And Rachel, you have such good information just for our community to know that there is a place for help, for outreach. When a family has a child with special needs, it really affects the entire family. Talk about some of the concerns that come with that.
Sure. Thank you for that question. I think for me, the most interesting thing to learn about special families is the isolation can be the most difficult thing to endure, that just comes with being different. And I think all of us having experienced this quarantine, maybe we can be a little bit more sympathetic to the social distancing and kind of what it means to be shut in or shut out. And when you have a child that maybe has a sensory disorder, going to a family gathering or a barbecue or a function or a birthday party, or even to a family member's house can be overwhelming. And so I think for these families, it becomes easy just to stay in, and that can get isolating over time, but not just the 6 feet, the social distancing, but there's also a lot of emotional distancing. And your friends and your people in your community just sort of, not in your family, just maybe not understanding exactly everything that you're going through. And so just sort of being alone and all of that is very difficult. And that's why SHARE exists. We're a community, so people can connect and inspire. Any of that sound familiar? But just, I think everybody deserves a chance to be with their people and to say, hey, this is working for me. What did you do about this? Or, man, I'm really struggling with this. Or, hey, this is a milestone that I'm celebrating. And because we're a community, our families get to do that together. So that's so important. So thank you.
So you touched on it a little bit, but what else does SHARES do to combat some of those tough realities that your community does face?
Sure. So we have programming to combat all of that. We have support groups for parents, and I think support group is kind of a strong word. It's just sort of a fun place in a community. A lot of people are like, oh, support group. No, I don't need that. But I think a lot of families were surprised to learn that, hey, that's my favorite part, because it's just connecting and sharing success stories and saying, hey, this is where I'm getting tripped up, or this is what I'm struggling with. And it's not only for parents, it's also for siblings. I mean, think about, you may not have somebody in your class that is dealing with these same things, but at SHARE, you have a friend and you have other kids who might be, because, what 6-year-old or even 16-year-old understands this kind of thing. So having a friend and knowing that you're not alone with that and can make the world of difference.
When you're talking about, just being in this situation and kind of talking about parents, what are some of the specific stresses that fall on parents that maybe, parents that don't have children with special needs may not really understand?
Right. I think it's just, going out in the community and being isolated. We're all special needs friendly, but I think that some people that don't know, they can say hurtful things, or even as a friend, if you don't know what somebody's going through, you can say, everything happens for a reason, or you can say some of those things that really you mean well, but can also be hurtful for somebody in a tough situation. So I think that just preparing families and talking through some of those scenarios and finding friends that are going through some of the same things is very helpful.
Rachel, I love that SHARES connects siblings with other siblings that are living with children with special needs. I imagine that brings so much comfort and relief to families.
Sure, it does. And it really helps them to support each other. So we have guided discussions that talk through just embarrassment, shame. They can have survivor's guilt. And there's just a whole slew of emotions that come with that. Even some kids, we have a lot of the seniors that are graduating, and can you imagine feeling like, my family needs me? Am I going to feel guilty if I decide to leave and pursue schooling in another place because my family needs me? And I have a single mom and that kind of thing. So just dealing with all of that and kind of, getting the permission to, or finding the balance, the right time to kind of come and go. Because I think as moms, certainly, and even as family members and as siblings, we tend to take care of everyone else before we take care of ourselves. And really that's not sustainable. So SHARE kind of helps maintain that balance.
Well, I love how you're all one, you're a family supporting each other. How can our community members find you, and how can they connect and be a part of the family?
Sure. Our website is sharewtx.org. We're also all over social media. And so you can get involved and just, learn different statistics, learn how you can help, volunteer, and maybe find a way to get plugged in that makes sense for you. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. We have a lot more. Stay with us. We are going to wrap things up with some final thoughts, so stay with us.
Are you looking for flame-resistant uniforms? Consider Rig ID Workwear. Here's 5 reasons why. There are no contracts. That's worth repeating. There are no contracts. Eliminate the hassle of lost rented garments. Corporate discounts are available for your entire workforce at Rig ID. Put an end to the hassle and stress of pickup and delivery of your company's uniforms. We offer full FR uniform products as well as boots, gloves, and accessories. Stop by Rig ID Workwear and start saving your company both money and time.
Glam up your routine at Urban Glow Blow Dry Bar. Whether it's company or corporate events, weddings, girls' night out, family pictures, or you just want to get glammed, get blown out and ready to go out at Urban Glow Blow Dry Bar. Located at 3415 North Loop 250 in the Borgata Shopping Center in Midland.
Hey, I'm coming for the top, hey. They don't know we going to the top, hey. Yeah, going to the, I frequent these beats, back and forth, different time zones. Every student leaving minds blown, nothing handed to me, earn my own. Like, oh yeah, where he rapping again? Little boy, start practicing it. Just like what I can craft for the pen. Took the throne, you can't have it again. Run the number like we calculated. To the top. Hey, top.
Well, welcome back. We hope you've enjoyed the show thus far. 2 great guests. We always love learning from women right here in our community and beyond. So if you're interested in being a guest on our show, head to our website. It's www.theconnectonline.com. So very excited for that. But before we go, we want to connect even more with you. We're going to talk a little bit of personal topics, and we want you to know a little bit more about us. So Krista, I think you're going to take it away.
What's your favorite childhood activity?
Legos. I was 100% Lego girl.
Okay. Well, I was a super tomboy, believe it or not, and we didn't have money either. But so I was always outside doing gymnastics, teaching myself gymnastics. But my school, I'll never forget this, the coach created a jump rope club. So you didn't have to have money, you just had to go to school there. And so I was in the jump rope club.
Oh,
yeah.
That's cute.
I have those little snaps, girl.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'd say dance and gymnastics too. Growing up in a dance studio, I was literally there every day after school. So that was my life, and I loved it. I was always in a leotard doing a cartwheel somewhere here and there.
What about you, Natalie?
I loved hot loops. I used to love to make. Do you remember hot loops? You'd like put them on your fingers and flip it over, and it would turn into these long bracelets and necklaces.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed doing things like that.
Yeah. Okay, how old were you when you started having a desire to work and make that money?
The minute I could spend it.
Oh, young. I don't even remember. I don't remember not having a desire, to be honest. I just always had it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same. There you go. Lady bosses in the house. They start young. All right, that was fun. Thank you, ladies. We want to hear from all of you at home, so let's connect. Tell us, what was your first job? Tell us how old you were when you wanted to start making money. We just want to get to know you better. So find us on The Connect on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere. And now on TV. Okay, that's it, ladies. Happy Saturday, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for joining us. You make it a great day.